Cindi McGee. Today in the Makin's Clay Design Studio, I'm going to show you how to use Makin's Clay Vineyard tones and earth tones to create this great rustic vineyard bowl, and it's on a surprise surface. Let's get started. To make this project, we're using the vineyard tones and the earth tones in the 120 gram multi-packs. I'm going to show you first how to open them. Inside the box, the clay is wrapped in an outer wrapping. So you would first remove that, and then your individually wrapped colors of clay are inside. Once you remove that outer wrapping, it is important, even if you don't open the inner wrapping, to keep these in a Ziploc bag with a damp paper towel or a moist towelette to keep your clay fresh. Once we've opened our 2 packages of clay, we're going to be using the Merlot and the grape leaf and the plum wine from our vineyard tone set, and we're using our olive and our persimmon clay from the earth tone set. I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of my clay aside, and we're using the Fruits push mold. This is a fun set. It's great for rustic type projects like this with the grapes, but there's also apples and lemons and oranges, and it can be a really fun set for lots of different things. To use the push mold to make our grapes, I'm just going to open. We'll start with this Merlot, and I'm removing this outer package. And that clay should come right off. If it does not, you can either obviously scrape it, or I think it's easier to just lift it with that clay that you've already removed. So there's very little waste. Put the rest of this in our baggie. Now, to use the push molds, there are a couple of ways you can do this. You can either just press the clay into the mold, and remove it and then trim around your image, or because they're flexible and clear, I prefer to keep my clay right in the image I'm trying to mold. You can just easily remove any excess clay because Makin's clay is soft and pliable right out of the package. It does not have to be conditioned first, so it's easy to work with right away. And because it's clear, I can see that I'm keeping my image, my clay, right in the shape that I want to mold. Because they're flexible, I don't have to wait for my clay to dry. I can just pop it right out, and I'm ready to continue molding. I did that. I made grapes out of my persimmon, my plum wine, and my Merlot, and I made some grapes out of my olive clay, and then I molded my leaves out of my grape leaf. And next I'm going to show you how I used these grapes to embellish this non-traditional surface. Now, Makin's clay is a no-bake, completely air-dry polymer clay, and one of the things that makes that truly special is that it can be applied to non-traditional surfaces that you wouldn't traditionally be able to use it on for an oven-baked product. This bowl, while it looks like carved wood, is actually made of a material called smooth foam, and it is just that. It is a smooth foam product. We can put the clay directly onto it because there's no baking required. The bowl was just white foam. I painted it with a chalky finish paint, and then I applied, let me take my grapes. So this is what we started with. I had chopped it up a little bit to make it look rustic, and I took my push molded grapes, and I used some Makin tacky glue to adhere them. Just a touch is all it takes. This will dry clear, so if a little bit shows, it doesn't really matter. We'll just put those right there. I adhered my grapes, and I added my grape leaves, and I just varied my colors amongst all the colors of grapes we made. So it was pretty like this, but I really wanted this project to have a vintage feel. So another finish that we found that works beautifully with Makin's clay is DecoArt's cream wax. And I can age not only the clay, but the bowl too, with one product. So I just take a little bit on a rag, and I'm just going to rub over my bowl, but I'm also going to rub over the surface of my clay. And again, this can be done when Makin's clay is wet or after it has dried. It takes about 24 hours for the clay to fully cure. But this works when it's still fresh too. And I used my rag and I got it in all those areas around it And it was pretty and aged that way, but then it needed just a touch of bling. You had to have a little bit of shimmer there on our Rustic Vineyard bowl. So I used another great product that works with Makin's clay beautifully, is DecoArt's Metallic Luster. And I apply this with my fingertip. I'm using the Iced Espresso. It just seemed to work with the vineyard tones and the earth tones. And I placed that, just a touch of that, over the surface of the grapes and the leaves that I have added to my smooth foam bowl. And again, I did that on all of the pieces. And what you're left is what looks like a hand-carved wooden bowl with these beautifully rustic grapes. This would make a great centerpiece or a great accent for a wine tasting party to put snacks in. It's just another great way to use Makin's clay and Makin's push molds to make something for your home decor use. And it's a great illustration of using it on a non-traditional surface for a polymer clay. I hope you enjoyed learning how to use Makin's clay and our fruits push molds to make this rustic vineyard themed bowl. And I also did want to show you this fruits push mold can be used with brighter colors, and you can still make great fun projects of lots of types. Tune in next time to the Makin's Clay Design Studio for more creative projects.